How's it going, YouTube? I'm Chef Jerry Hardnett, and today I'm actually going to teach you how to cook something this time. You want a quick, simple, easy meal. Well, I got you covered. Today we're going to cook pasta. Simple, right? Now, generally, you want to be able to cook pasta so that it has a nice little crunch called al dente. Now, not everyone likes this, so not everyone's going to cook it this way, but personally, that's my favorite. Nice little crunch. Now, the way you want to do this is you want to get water to a rolling boil. That means bubbles are coming up everywhere. Here, I'll show you. See that? That's a rolling boil. The reason why you want to get it up to a rolling boil, so you get it nice and hot, pasta cooks nice and quick, and you can eat right there and then. Now, here I have 2 cups of pasta. You can put as much as you like, or however much you need, so go right ahead. Put that in there. Generally, you don't want to leave the top on, but I leave it on for a little bit just to kind of keep the heat in there a little. Because the problem is, what can happen is it can bubble over and it can spill out onto your stove. But I leave it on for a little bit just to kind of keep that heat flowing through. Now, the way you want to set up your water is you want to have a teaspoon of salt in it for every quart of water you have. This is about a quart-sized pot, so I put in a teaspoon. Why you want to do that is because you want to season the pasta. Salt brings out a lot of flavors and a lot of foods, pasta being one of them. So the reason why you put salt in the water is so that all the pasta is seasoned. Now, generally what you want to do with pasta is every now and then you want to give it a little stir. Stir it a little bit. You don't have to stir it much, just a little bit. Just a little bit. Because you don't want your pastas to stick, and God forbid that it sticks to the bottom of the pan. Now, you can use a different kind of pot. You can use what's called a double boiler. Well, somewhat of a double boiler. What you do is there's a pot, and you have another pot of relatively the same size, though a little smaller, so it fits in that pot. The second pot has holes in it, and it's called a colander. The colander goes in with the pasta, and then when the pasta's done, you take the colander out of the pot, shake it a little bit to get the water out, and boom, your pasta is done. Now, my pasta went in at around 7:36. So, at about, see, this is what I mean. It can get a little bubbly, so you just take the top off, put it to the side, and you're good. Now, pasta generally takes around 4 to 5 minutes to cook, depending on how hot your water is and how much pasta you have. Mine's probably going to take about 4 to 5 minutes to get it to exactly where I want. Now, why do I only cook it for 4 to 5 minutes? Well, because I like it, as I mentioned before, al dente. And if you cook it for longer than that, it can get kind of mushy, and it can become like very pasty. And you really don't want a pasty pasta, because then it can fall apart whatever you put on it. If you have meat on it, the weight of the meat will just tear it to shreds, and you'll basically be having mushy meatballs, or mushy bolognese, or a mushy style wheat-based tomato sauce, and it's just not for me. Now, granted, people have different tastes. I'm not telling you my way is right, I'm just telling you how I like it. Personally, I only cook it a little bit to make it al dente. So, right now it's 7:39. I'm going to check my pasta just to see how it is. Alright, come here. Just want to grab it, be careful. It's hot. Okay. That's a little too crunchy, so I'm going to leave it on there for a little bit. But while that's there, I'll explain to you what's going to go on it. Now, since this is very simple, you don't got to do much for this, I'm just going to use some olive oil, extra virgin of course. A little bit of Cajun seasoning, because personally I like a little spice. Some sea salt to go in the water and on the pasta. And to put that all together, I have 2 bowls. One bowl of pasta is going to go in. The other bowl is going to go on top. Shake it up a little bit. And then boom, your pasta's ready. Now, of course, you can put on cheese, because cheese, as an Italiano, I love cheese. I love Romano, I love Asiago, I love Parmesan, I love Blue, I love Gruyere. I love all kinds of cheese. So you can absolutely put cheese on this pasta and it will still taste delicious. Let's see. 7:41. Time to give our pasta a check. Now, Where's my slate? There we go. Generally, when you make pasta, you want to use something called a slated spoon. Just like that. Earlier, I was using this spoon, but it's harder to grab the pasta with this spoon because it'll hold water. This one will not. Now, give it a nice little stir, pick up some pasta, shake it around a little bit to get all that hot water off because it burns your tongue. Just grab it, pop it. That is delicious. That is perfect. Now, I will show you how to get it out of the pot just as soon as I set up my camera. Okay, welcome back. Now here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this little bad boy right here, which is another form of colander. We're going to take our pot, and we're just going to pour in the water. Now do this very, very slowly. You do not want to get burned. Let me tell you, water burns and steam burns, whew, they hurt. Now, we take our colander here, give it a little shake like that, maybe make them bounce a little bit. Just here, like that. Make them bounce a little. And then our pasta should be good. Now, let's move on and dress our pasta. Alright, now it's time to dress the pasta. So, what we're going to do, we're going to take the pasta, we're going to gently slide it into the bowl. You might want to cup your hands around it just to be safe. Now, of course, if you want to be more sanitary, you could always do this over a larger bowl, but since I'm in the comfort of my own home and I'm the one enjoying this, it's okay. In a professional setting, you do want to make sure that your hands don't touch the food. Now, excuse me, we're going to take some olive oil and just drizzle it over. Now, you don't want too much oil because otherwise well, this is going to sound a little stupid and condescending, but it'll taste too oily and slick, and you don't want that in a pasta. You just want the oil to kind of accent the flavors and kind of hold them together. Now, you're going to take your seasoning. Of course, you don't have to use Cajun. Use whatever you like. And we're just going to pat, and get that on top. We don't have to mix that in just yet because it will be mixed in by our little bowl over here. Now, I've taken some of this sea salt and I've ground it up so it's nice and thin. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit on that. Beautiful. Just a pinch. Not much. Then we're going to take our bowl here. We're going to shake it up. Shake it up nice and good. Just like this. And boom! You have a nice Cajun-style pasta, or Italian-style pasta if you use Italian seasoning, or whatever you wish. Now let's give her a taste. Perfect. Let me show you what that looks like right there. There's our pasta. Beautiful. Hopefully you all learned something today. I'm Chef Jerry Hardnett, and I hope to be teaching you sometime in the future. Adios.